run the game. I run the game. I run the macro, my name. I run the game.
What up, everybody? Charles Macro here today, back again, jumping back into news about EMPYRION Galactic Survival. Shout out to you and yours, man. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm in here doing a little house cleaning in my base. I moved the base around. The restarts came for Alpha 12, so had to set up. So I've been doing that. I've also in real life been doing some house moving in a new setup. Got a new lab. Still got my old lab at another house, but we moving things here, taking care of my little ones. So, wow, EMPYRION has some big news, guys. They are leaving alpha and early access, and they are releasing the main update. Wow. Now, before we're done, we're gonna talk again about multiplayer, because that's something I wanted to do. I wanted to get a multiplayer server going for the people who support me. We're gonna start small, 4 to 8 people. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that at the end. I've already been looking into the server. I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. Now back to this update. So I'm gonna read this to you guys, and I'm gonna show you the dev blog, all right? And one of the things after we look at this, because it's a short blurb, but I want to talk about some of the comments, because there are some very valid questions that people have in the comments, and you might have been one of the commenters. All right, so we're gonna discuss that, and anything that you're wondering, concerned about, any questions you have, leave them in the comments, guys, because this is saying a lot that they're going out or leaving alpha. They're leaving early access. They're opening up the main version, and everything isn't done to the degree that we thought it might be done. All right, but let's get into it. Dear Galactic Survivalists, this is not the usual announcement of the main version update. The upcoming release will be something special. And I'm gonna read this, guys. Normally we just go through the notes or the updates. We're gonna read this. Not only because we're looking forward to an anniversary release on the 5th of August, but also because we will move forward and leave the alpha and early access tags behind at this point. With a small but dedicated team, currently 5 programmers, 2 modelers, we think we have created something fun to play in the past years, but without you, our community, thank you, we would never have come so far. This is something we absolutely value and acknowledge. We appreciate that. But now it is time to move forward and take on the next level. What does this mean? Yes, what does that mean? First of all, the game development will not be stopped. They put that in big capital letters. We will continue to be working on refining features and fixing bugs. Subsequent releases will happen in the same frequency as before. No change here, except the version counter will not read 13x, but simply 1. The only thing that might slightly change in future releases is the focus on what we will be working on. Huh? Okay, that's a head scratcher right there. Let's think about that. The goal of alpha phase always was to add in what we consider to be the base mechanics, the game changers, and all that stuff that leads to major technical changes and altered game experience, with the addition of the Galaxy being one of the final steps to achieve that milestone. For all subsequent releases, bug fixes and optimization, as well as feature refinements and the big topic of effect and sound reworks might be more on the foreground. There are, of course, also a few larger features left, and there is a long list of quality of life changes and additions that have piled up over the last years for single and multiplayer. We're looking forward to all of you being with us on this new development stage with the same engagement and dedication you have shown in the recent alpha phase. Yours, Elion Game Studios. P.S. More info on the contents of the version 1 release will be following soon, so we'll get more information in the near future. So one thing I want to note before we look at the comments, subsequent releases will happen at the same frequency. No change here except the version. And they said the game development will not stop. We will continue to be working and refining. Does that mean we are done with restarts? That's one of my first big questions. Since they're going to a number one of a main release phase, does that mean we're done with restarts? Because one of the reasons, even though I was in between moving and getting things together, one of the reasons I hadn't played or put out any content since Alpha 12 drops is because, and the stable release drop is because of restarts. I didn't want to restart. I've already restarted quite a few times. So does that mean there will not be any more restarts? Other games that are more polished, this is a fairly polished game, but other games, you know, what's it like a RimWorld that has released in a full stable release, there are no more restarts to the game. There are no more game breaking updates. So from this point on, are all the updates non-game breaking? Because since Alpha 12 released stable, there was one patch that broke the game. I guess we shall see. Let me know in the comments if you think that Eliana is able to go to the full release stage and not do any more restarts. The other thing, a few larger features left and a long list of quality of life changes. So yes, what will some of these be? How will we be affected? You know, I guess they'll let us know, but it just seems that they would have continued with the alpha if there were still things to fix. So let's look at some of these comments. Span says, what? Where did this come from? Raven FF, this was unexpected. It's about time. Span says, I hope this doesn't mean we are not going to see a proper factory system and economy trade system added. Very good question. I will consider those major game features. Yes, that is true. And will we see those, or will they forego those? Will they let modders mod it, you know, and change that? What does this mean? What do you mean when you say few larger features to be included, and what quality of life changes are still to be added? It can't be a beta test if you are adding major new content, or can it? That's from Addy. Kane Hart, who is an administrator, congratulations, this is amazing news. I'm right now sitting here playing Alpha 12, enjoying the handwork of the team. I guess the handiwork put in over the years. You should all be proud of yourselves once again. Now that's glowing, that doesn't really ask a question, but it's also an administrator. This is awesome. Okay, just checked it out. I like this from Nexus. Okay, I just checked this out. Definitely isn't April 1st today. Now that you are leaving Alpha, will you be sharing the features you plan to add? Now they kind of said more stuff is coming in the future, but I get this. He really wants a more concise list, do we know? Not a roadmap, but something like this. Alpha is such a wide beast to do this for, but beta is so much more narrow that you must have a clear definition of features that you plan to eventually add. Really hoping water mechanics is one of them. That's a very good comment. Now this is from INSAP. Before you go out of the alpha, you should finally manage to make the game PvP capable of going from alpha to alpha. It gets worse and you just don't get it. Either you don't care or you don't want to do a proper job. You better add new music or change the look of different things instead of working on the important thing. I think it means you rather add new music or change the look of different things instead of working on What do you think about that? Is that a fair comment? Is that a fair comment? I don't know. I mean, I do think they've done a good job, but to this point, for PvPers, that could be a concern, and some of those other things can be kind of valid. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment. Now, Myrmidine made a good comment. Better they switch the game engine, I would say. The current game engine does have limitations. I don't know if it can be updated. I'm not a coder, but I know some of you guys know, and that's a great recommendation right there. So what does that mean? Will they ever be able to put the systems in that they need, like Span said? Now this comment by FrEEBIZ goes along with that engine comment. This sounds like they finally realized the limits of the engine they are using and are looking to advance to Payday in order to move on to the next thing. Given the state of Alpha 12, I'd be ashamed to call the game beta. It's nearly unplayable on HWS. PvP with more than 2 people, crash, playfield, lagfest slideshow. Exploits everywhere, exploits. Loss of ships in the void. Players corrupted, buildings missing blocks, enemies that won't fire back. It is in bad shape. This announcement makes me sad. Engine aside, this would have been such a promising game. The design is there, the implementation is not. Wow. Now what do you guys think about that comment? Do you agree with that? Now, I don't play MP. I'm a single player. And one thing I want to talk about is I wanted to go ahead and do a multiplayer server. It was going to be PvE though, and not PvP. So maybe PvE isn't as bad because it's more like single player, but am I going to be wasting my money hosting this server? Is it that bad? How much validity is there to this comments with FREEBIZ? Because it sounds like these could be serious issues. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Kieran Dev says, wow, I really hope you're planning on adding more than just bug fixes and quality of life improvements, because this game is 100% does not have enough content to consider it a full game. While it is fun, it really only has a few hours of content before rinse and repeat. Wow, now what do you think about that? Now, I do enjoy Empyrion, especially the single player. You can do a lot and you can build a nice world around it. You can really grow into it. And there is a lot to do, you know, you can have fun, but it does turn into a loop, or, you know, you do end up having to go play some other games to get a certain level of fulfillment. But there is so much to this game. I mean, it really is a huge game. And especially with the addition of missions and things of that nature to give you direction as to what you're doing. But it does lack polish. There is a lot that can be refined. So do you agree with this comment from Kieran Devs? Now, Scoop says Empyrion Alpha 12 is a solid single player game and there's lots of fun to be had for sure. Equally, however, it does need refinement. Agreed. Sound is a good example, not just the quality of the individual samples, but audio positioning as well. Of course, the factory is something that's been a placeholder forever, with a more fleshed out experience promised. There's also things like allowing the player to crouch and go prone, which are needed ASAP in my view. How about the whole colliders thing and the ability to walk around vessels in motion? These things are all key. I'm assuming 1.0 doesn't mean realized version, but just moving into the beta phase where adding new features is less important than polish. For me, sound, the factory crouching are certainly polished as they can build upon what exists now. Moving around the ships in motion though, I always understood that that was a big deal. Yes, and they've been talking about that since, again, I've been playing since Alpha 5, Alpha 6. People have always asked and discussed and expressed the need for moving around CVs and ships in motion, and that is not possible as of yet. I've played other games where it is possible. But to finish this comment, I don't do MP, but watching videos of others, it does seem a little flaky at times. No recent first-hand experience though, so I'll not comment anymore on that. Trying to think positively about this game, but it seems a little premature. That said, other games I play, the X series from EgoSoft, for example, always go strength to strength after their full release. Perhaps Elion would be the same. Good comment, Scoob. I agree with a lot of that. I think that's a really good comment. Now, J Lego says, agreed, it does seem premature. I'm not concerned about whether development will continue and the game will still be fleshed out more, but I'm concerned about how potential buyers will perceive it. Normally 1.0 means a finished game, and that's not the case here. I can foresee a lot of Steam users buying it after August 5th, thinking it's done, and then realizing it's not quite complete and refunding it, and possibly leaving a bad review. Not good. That's a very, very good point, a very valid point. We don't want, because most of us Empyrion players, we really do care for this game. We've been down with it for a long time. And premature release of this game can cause the ratings to go down tremendously, which could be a big issue. I don't know, I don't know if they want to take that hit and have people refunding the game and speaking badly on the game, even though it's a good game and they're still working on improving it, but we shall see. Helion says, congrats on moving to 1.0. I'm still concerned, just like many others in the thread already. Obviously, you have to get all the parts out of the box before you can put the thing together. So I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more fine tuning and updating to what's already in place. However, like others have asked already, what other large changes are going to be implemented? Is there a new roadmap coming? What's the plan besides a version number change? Very, very good question. Scared Glade, early access, alpha, beta, etc. appear to be more marketing terms generally these days. So if EGS pulls in more revenue as a result of the label change, well, I'm fine with that. However, I do hope that the major features updates are finished, not abandoned. Humble of War has posted many times that certain features are on the list, so I'm not over concerned about titles. It would be nice to see an updated vision of what key features the dev team would like to see implemented. New tech research mechanic, character skills, water vehicles, critters, etc., etc. Even if non-binding or timed, it would be massive to understand the scale of aspiration from Elion on what they would like to see in the game post-beta or V1. Or whatever that means anyway. Good comment, I like that. Now, Helion also replied to J Lego's comment earlier. Yeah, no kidding, No Man's Sky all over again. It'd be a mistake to leave the early access tag behind with the game's current state. A better marketing move would be to move to beta 1.0. Don't do it, Elion. It's not too late to change your mind. That's a fair point. That's a fair point because, again, fully releasing this game could cause a very strong backlash from new players who haven't been as involved with the development process as we have. we're used to it. We're used to the breaking, we're used to the restarts, we're used to the updates, we're used to the lack of polish because we love this game and we see its potential. But a person buying this for possibly $30 or $40, getting it in the state that it's in, that could cause some problems in the market, in the Steam market, and definitely cause some ratings to go down. But maybe they have a bigger plan than we know. Agent T-Bos, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, and what is the point? And why do you ignore beta? Bad move. I have seen this happening in a lot of early games. All of them ended badly. That's it. Not even my opinion. It's my experience with other early games. Use it as you want. The game right now has more future as early access than finished product. Oh yes, and you can't leave alpha without working in water somehow. All of us accept the current state of water because we're in alpha. In release, there won't be any excuse. Also, we still can't crouch. Wow. Now, there are like it looks like over 5 more pages of comments. There are at least 5 pages of comments. So I'm not gonna go through all the comments. This is just the first page. If you wanna read more comments, you can go through them. People are concerned and they have a lot of valid points. So I'm gonna do a little bit more discussing multiplayer, but hit me in the comments and let me know what you think about the comments that people have left about these points that were made. Do you think it's a bad idea for ELPYRION to leave early access at this point? Is the game ready? Is it polished enough? Will new players be put off and refund the game in its current state? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Me personally, I'm kind of right now, I'm just waffling. I'm either way with it right now. I got to think about it a little more before I really, give a take on it. I want to know what you think. So hit me in the comments and let me know. Also, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, share. All right, now for my peoples on the multiplayer. So even though this news is dropping, and I hope it doesn't affect things when I get this multiplayer server, but if you want to do multiplayer, hit me down in the comments as well. I did a video previously, so I have a lot of people who have done it. So if you also left a comment on the prior video, let me know. Hit me in the comments. Just a little reminder, I'm gonna still go through. I want to start with about 4 to 8 people and get it going, because I've never hosted a server before. This will be my first time, so I don't know if we need to change game set. The setup process is easy, we can play, but as far as the world that we play in, that we create, I don't know if we need to change things, decide how many planets it's gonna be, a starting point, a starting building. Like I don't know how that works. Does it still drop everybody onto the Earth in the crash pod? I know when I've seen it before, some people start like that, where you just jump into the world. I've seen videos where people start in a tower and you start with a few items and chests. So you take those items and they're your starter items, and then you go out and venture and adventure. So those are things that will have to be ironed out, and I have to see the world. And some of you guys can even help me test it out and formulate this. And now I'm gonna need people to help moderate and things of that nature. So I got a few people, like I said, on deck. Thank you to everybody who said they wanted to be a part of. I know it's been a few weeks, but things have been real busy in real life with my son, family, home, living situation, moving and things of that nature. So we finna get back moving and grooving. Now, if EMPYRION, if people don't want the multiplayer, or if it's broken, or this 1.0 messes things up, I'm still gonna do multiplayer with something else, even if it's Scrap Mechanic or Boreon or I don't know, I might go back to Ark or something. Like, who knows? You let me know in the comments if there are other multiplayer games you want to play, because I'm going to start with this, but if this is successful, or maybe if it's unsuccessful, I may go and play another game. We'll do another game multiplayer, make it a few game servers, or buy a big boy server entirely, all right? So let me know down in the comments, all right? If you want to help, if you want to contribute, let me know. Also got the Patreon. You can hit me PayPal, like anything if you want to contribute, support. But I always got this channel going and gonna do my thing regardless. And we're gonna get this multiplayer going regardless, all right? So guys, thank you. If you're here and you stuck around, man, this is a lot to unpack. And I wanted to check out some of these comments to see what people thought and see how they feel about this, because I have my concerns as well about leaving alpha early access and going to this main version update, guys. All right, but I am glad that ELPYRION's trying to move forward. Glad that they continue to update the game, and they've done a great job, so shout out to them. Let me say that they have done a great job working with this game. If this is the end and they moving on to the next project because the engine is at its max, then this is still a great game. Maybe modders can pick it up and tweak it and get it to the state of things that we're looking for with water and with walking around the ship. But hopefully they're gonna carry on, and when we get to version 2 or 3 or 4, it will be the game that we've been dreaming of. All right, guys, so again, thank you guys for sticking with me on this one. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, share this so others can check this out, and hit me in that comment box. Let me know what you think about going to the main release, and let me know what you think about us starting our own multiplayer server, and if you want to be a part of that. All right, Charles Macro, EMPYRION Galactic Survival Stable Main Release, leaving early access. It's coming, guys, so let's get ready for it and let's talk about it. Thank you for stopping through, and I'ma holla at you. Peace.
I run the game. I run the game. I run the macro.